paws. It's like finger painting, but with paws. It's really simple. So all you do is you cover their paw with paint, and then you can push it up against a canvas, a piece of paper, a t-shirt, a sheet, a wall. The possibilities are pretty endless. You can even arrange their paws in such a way to create a picture, or you can paint around their paws to turn them into flowers and whatever. Or you can do what I did. Here a while back, I painted a picture. My dogs painted a picture for my husband. And it turned out like this. What I did was, I took some blue paint and put it on the bottom of Domino's feet, which are all the little blueprints. And then I took orange paint and put it on the bottom of his dog's Thor's feet, which are all the little orange paw prints that are on here. Now I chose to outline some of them and then not to outline others. And as you can see, the ones that are not outlined are really kind of hard to distinguish the different toes. But the ones that are outlined really pop. And I decided to glue some of these little gems on here. I picked them up at the dollar store, super cheap, just to add a little zazz to the painting, which he really appreciated. Today, what we're going to be doing is creating a memory box out of this old Vans shoebox. So what we're gonna do is we're going to wrap it in fabric, and then we're going to glue the little picture with our prints on it on the top of it. So for today's project, what you're going to need is an old shoebox, an old t-shirt or pants or fabric of any kind, a pair of scissors, a hot glue gun, hot glue sticks, a piece of paper. We're just using watercolor paper because we needed something a little bit thicker, and it's just something that I had laying around. Some paint and a dog. And if you don't have a dog, you can still do a similar memory box. You just put a picture that you like on top instead of the picture that we're going to make today. The first step in our project is we're gonna do the cutting and the gluing, because we're gonna make a mess with that paint, so we're gonna save that project till later so we don't get any paint on our fabric. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut up this shirt so it's easier to glue onto the box. And what you can do is keep some of the shirt part of it intact so you can kind of tell that it's a shirt, or you can just cut it up so that it just looks blue. While I'm doing this project, I'm gonna go ahead and give Domino a bone so that I can keep her away from the scissors and the hot glue. Go sit for it. Go get in your chair. Yep, there you go. Now, the last thing I want to do is discourage your own creativity, but if you were wondering what I just did, I cut off the sleeves and then I cut up the sides to give myself a flat surface to work with to glue, and then I buttoned up the cuffs here because I'm using a button-down shirt. Like I said, use whatever you have available, because for me, some of the fun of doing a lot of these projects is just recycling stuff that I have laying around and creating stuff that I either want or need. So then I cut the front from the back. So I have the back piece here, which, as you can see, I actually cut a hole in because, well, I wasn't really paying attention. And then I have the front here, which, like I said, I'm using a button-down shirt, and I haven't fully decided, because that's just, you'll learn this, that's just how I do. But I haven't fully decided how exactly I'm gonna glue this on here, so I'm just gonna get to gluing. Now that we have all of the cloth glued to the box, it's time to go on to our second step, which is painting the background. The third step of this project, I wanted it to be DIY pet paint, but the only recipe I could find was a 2-to-1 ratio of cornstarch and water with natural food coloring, and that fell a bit short. So this is, ooh, yep. See it literally falling short? Anyhow, this is one of the mixtures I made, which was a thicker mixture because this is the thicker mixture that I made, and it's now all over my table. This is the thinner mixture that I made, and then this is the even thinner mixture that I made that I can't really tell much of a difference between this mixture and this mixture. I even tried lessening the amount of cornstarch and replacing it with flour, which also did not work. So I actually saved some because I made it last night, but I saved some to show you guys that this is how it turned out. And see how it's all separated? That's probably pretty normal. Anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and turn it. We should probably not stir it sideways. Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever really played much with water and cornstarch, but it's a hoot. I totally blasted back. I'm saying totally now. I totally blasted back to my childhood playing with some cornstarch and water. I can't get it to mix now. But yeah, I was having so much fun. I even stained my kitchen counters with the dyes. Oops. And now I have it running down the front of my dress. Yeah, we're gonna quit while we're ahead on this one. So instead of using this, I know I'm gonna get a lot of grief, but we're gonna use non-toxic acrylic paint. And before you go throwing some hate on in the comments section, let's turn this comment section into better recipes for DIY paint for your pets, so that the next time we want to do this project, or when you guys go to do this project, you'll have a much better recipe than cornstarch and water to play with. Because cornstarch and water sounds great, sounds edible, but doesn't look good on the page. Because this isn't going to work well for anybody at this moment. Are you? It's running down the apron. Alright, now that I got that mess all cleaned up, we're gonna make a new one. First, we're gonna start with my hand, and since she was blue on the last one, I'm gonna be blue on this one. The thing I learned about printing is you don't want too much of it in the palm of your hand. You want it to kind of spread out a little bit, which is why I have my handy dandy paper towels here, so I can make sure that I don't get too big of a print on the palm, like the inside palm of my hand. That's where it tends to want to puddle, and then you'll just end up with a really thick looking center of your hand. That's why I like to use the brush, so I can get it more evenly coated around my hand. And as you can see, I like to paint my whole hand. We won't be getting quite this in depth with her hand, and you'll see why here in a minute. But got one shot at this. Ready? Go. Ta-da! You're in my hair. This is how my hand turned out. And like I said, since I don't have the pool, it will leave more space to get her authentic print in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hand up and then get her ready to rock. All right, now that we got that all cleaned up, and this is just about dry, we're gonna go ahead and put Domino's paw in here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take her little paw. I put some of that non-toxic paint in there for her. And hey, you're okay. You're okay, you're okay. I really just don't want this paint everywhere. So I'm gonna set that down. I'm gonna grab this. Good girl, yeah. We're just gonna drop your paw down. Just like that. Perfect. Yep. Now we're gonna take this. We're gonna get the stuff off of your paw. See how I got a little bit of the excess paint from when we just stuck it into the bowl? Normally it works better when you paint it on there, which is why I have the paintbrush, but she wasn't really having that today. So I didn't try to bother putting her through that. So I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna dab some of this excess paint off of here. Alright, so if you're like me, then watching paint dry is not one of the things you like to spend your time doing. So I went and got my art hair dryer, because I have two. Why didn't I think of this sooner? Anyhow, we're just gonna go ahead and air dry that. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is the same thing I did in the last one. I feel like this is missing that special zazz, so I'm gonna go ahead and outline it with one of all these many Sharpies I brought. Now in outlining, what you wanna do is kind of put an emphasis, ooh, you wanna get in on this too, is kind of put an emphasis on some of those lines that are kind of lacking. See how on this one, how it's just a straight line, but we're gonna wanna make an emphasis of the different joints of where those sit. So we're just kind of gonna fake it. There's one thing I know about art, it's more fun when it's not perfect. Oops. Well, I guess we're just gonna have your little touch in there too. All right, and that is that. So now all we have left to do is just hot glue to the box. Well, that will about wrap us up here. If you want to see more of us, you can go check us out on Instagram at thisisartmarvels. And if you create your own memory box or your own dog paw printing, I would like to see it. So post it on Instagram with the hashtag of marvelingdiz so we can find it. And as always, get creative, YouTube, and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to get more inspiration and laughs. Thanks for sticking around. Are we done? Can we just be done? Forgot that this is hard work.